I believe the numbers stopped growing, so we can assume everyone who wanted to attend is already amongst us. Amongst us. English isn't our first language, so please bear with us. As always, welcome to another REGARTIS webinar. My name is Stano Gajdoš. I am the communications person at REGARTIS, and I'm joined by our two regulatory expert slash happiness managers, Jana Eliášová. Hi, Jana.
Hi.
And Inessa Kiristaeva. Hi, Inessa.
Hi, good morning.
First, as we are nearing to our flagship event of the year, Prague Chemicals Management Cruise Conference, 5 words will do the trick for the name. I would like to invite you to check it out or register or meet us in Prague in April this year. More information can be found on PCMC. Oh, I always mispronounce PCMC2026.com. I will leave the link in chat as well, but I'm no salesman, as you can probably tell. So today we are here to talk about SME verification and all about it. First, I will do a little introduction, which is already happening now, as you can probably tell. Then Inessa and Jana will have their expert talks, and at the end of the webinar, or at the second half of the webinar, we'll dive into the Q&A. We have a few questions ready for from the registrations. Should you have any more, do not hesitate to leave them in the Q&A interface or in chat. At rest, be aware that chat questions sometimes can slip because there can be a lot of messages at once. So please use the Q&A interface or get your microphones ready if you'd like to talk to us live. After the webinar ends, you will get the recording and you will get the presentation slides, as you probably know. This recording will also end up on YouTube, where you can also find our other webinars. For example, our REACH revision roundtable from last year's, I believe it was May. We will get back to this definitely at VTMC, as I mentioned before. And now, this is the time to pass the microphone along the table to Jana. Good luck, Jana.
Thank you, Stano, for a kind introduction. And let's start. The webinar is on a topic that may be a little bit marginally, but in practice has a very real financial impact. It's about SME verification. And let's take a quick look at what you can expect from this webinar. First, we will explain how a regulation for fee works. Also, we will talk about possibilities for reducing the fees, especially for small and medium and size enterprises, and how is current situation for this SMEs, and how is future, because some changes took place in the last year and will in the next year. So we will explain you how which changes you can waiting for. As you can see the picture, small, medium enterprises, that means medium, small, and micro enterprises can use the reduced fees after the verification. And let me ask you which size of company is your company. So please, Stano, start the poll. And please let us if your company is micro, small, medium, large, or standard, or you don't know. Maybe we are here for you to help you. And if other, maybe it's some person. Maybe it's if you are not a company. So please, you have a few seconds for to tell us. So thank you, and please show us. Okay, most of you don't know. Okay, so you are on the right place, and I hope we will help you how to verify, how to find which company size you have, and maybe medium-sized enterprises are also. Thank you, and let's continue. As you many know, the main regulation for dealing with it is a REACH. REACH is a regulation regulates handles of for substances, mixtures, and articles, and also establish some obligations for imported for manufacturers. And some of the obligations are connected with fees, which is paid to ECHA, European Chemical Agency. And the fees are not established in REACH, but they have own fee regulation. The fee regulation, it was first number 340 from 2028. And the regulation was updated last year on October 2025 by the implementing regulation 2067. And we will talk about changes from coming from this implementing regulation. First change or first is for standard, let's say it's large or standard enterprises, and it's increase of fees. It's approximately by 19.5%, especially for registration fees. And this increase is effective from October 2025. So if you want to register now, you have to pay more than last year. Good news is for small and medium enterprises. The reduced fees are reduced fees, and the fees wasn't changed by this new regulation, are the same like before. So it's good news. The worse every time in chemical regulation there is some hinge. There are new rules for declaration, and the new rules for declaration are we'll talk about Inessa very soon, and it's maybe changing how to declare small and medium enterprises. There is a timeline. There are some milestones which implementing regulation make. First is 5 October 2025 when the regulation entered into force, and the same day was increased the fees for large enterprises. Today we have a webinar for SME verification, and it's not it's not accident. It's not incident. It's our purpose because we have just 1 year for starting new rules for verification of SMEs. It's good to see that 1 year is plenty of time, but believe me, it's not. It will be very shortly, and we have to prepare us for this change. Yes, deadline is in a year, so be careful. There are some information about registration fee. You can see the new fees for standard enterprises. You can see that it was increased of about 20%. So you can now pay more. And for reduced fee for SMEs are the same like before, but there are some other changes. And how does it work now? Now, if you want to register, so it's paying action in REACH for REACH regulation for ECHA for ECHA evaluation, you could declare that you are SME. you declare it in a Reach IT system and upload some documents. The documents Inessa will talking about are structured, and there are some few documents which are necessary for the declaration. But now it's not necessary to be uploaded before the registration. It could be any document. It's necessary to upload some document, but it's not necessary to be all documents which are required by the regulation which will be mentioned. But it will change. I will show you. You declare SME and you can register. You can submit registration documentation. ECHA will verify this documentation, and if it's not sufficient or if it's not enough, ECHA will ask you for other documents or for updated documents. Is the situation now? Still, if you declare a wrong size of your company, ECHA will ask you for paying the difference between the fees, and there are some penalties, administrative penalties for wrong size verification or declaration. And also it's possible that some ECHA will ask your national authority or national enforcement authority, and the authority will come and could make some penalties for you from this reason or for other reasons. So it's very important to be careful if you are declaring your enterprise size, to be very careful and to be wrong, not to be wrong, because it could be penalties from this problem. And how will work after 5th February 2027? The main change is the SME declaration must be before must be finished, or verification must be finished before some paying action in Reach. It means before, for example, before registration, submission of registration dossier. So you have 2 months. There are minimum 2 months before the registration dossier submission. You have to declare SME, and ECHA have 2 months for verification. But ECHA cannot declare it will be just 2 months. It could be more. So minimum 2 months. But I recommend you to be maybe more than two months before, because it could take more time. So you will declare SME. ECHA will evaluate it, and ECHA will send you a document about SME verification. This document have validity only 3 years. So you have to upload the documentation each 3 years. Upload the documentation or proof of your status, SME status, each 2 years. So this the other maybe news in the regulations. It's not just declaration before dossier submission, but also each 3 years you have to repeat the uploading. And this is probably all for me. And over to Inessa. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any question, I will answer it on the end of the presentation. So Inessa, it's yours.
Thank you, Jana. Stano. Okay, I have this, yeah. Okay, so it's my part. Yes, again, hello, everybody. And as they say, life gives us all good things in small packages. So looks like in the business world, all good things come in SME packages. And as Jana told before, to be an SME, it's a benefit. you can have reduced fees, you can get extra support, you have some benefits in the legislation requirements. So it's really worth to spend time and invest efforts to verify your company size correctly. And we would like to offer you like structured 5 steps how to do that. And then we'll tell how ECHA is doing that. So the first step is assess ownership structure. I will go in more details on each of these steps, but now briefly, like first step is ownership structure, and this is the most crucial step, and it's the most, let's say, complicated step, I would say, like this, from SME verification. The second step is to determine reference years. There is just some rules for that. You just have to know them, and then it shouldn't be a problem to define which years should be taken into account. Then step 3 and step 4, it's collecting the relevant documents, and we will go through which documents are relevant and which are considered to be sufficient by ECHA. And of course, the last step is to check what are the criteria for the company size and under which criteria you are falling. So the first step, ownership structure. And as I mentioned, this significantly complicates the SME verification, because SME status determined not only by the size of the enterprise, but also by its relation with the other entities. And this information sometimes it's not available for the compliance department. This information mostly available for the legal departments of the company, of bookkeeping, financial departments. So to get to know the ownership structure, the compliance department should work closely with the owners or with the financial or legal department. And there are 3 types of the enterprises. It's autonomous enterprise, where there is no ownership in the other enterprise or other companies less or equal to 25%. And in this case, for these enterprises, the SME assessment based solely on the enterprise's own data. Then it's a partner enterprises, where ownership or voting right is more than 25% and less than 50%. So these companies don't have dominant control over the other companies and vice versa. And then in this case, you need to aggregate the number of employees and financial data proportional to this control percentage. And the third type of the enterprise, it's a linked enterprises, where ownership or control is more than 50%, where this company have more bigger influence in the other companies and vice versa. So this trigger that you have to aggregate all information, so summarize the number of employees and all the financial data of all the linked enterprises. The linked enterprises can be also linked by the physical persons, and there are some specifics, of course, in that, because in case your companies are acting on a different markets, then it can be excluded, but that should be proven. And the most important, that you need to submit the ownership structure diagram into your Rich IT account. This is very important, and this is the first thing that ECHA is checking. Here on this slide, you can see an example of ownership structure and the example of calculation. This picture you can also find on the website of ECHA, and I should say that ECHA and the European Commission, they are really highlighting the topic of SME verification. You can really find a lot of useful information there. But as you can see here on the diagram, all the owners of we have registrant enterprise company A, and then the owners, and then the companies which enterprise A owned in a different percentage, they are all indicated on this diagram. And based on that, maybe it's a homework for you if you want to check your understanding of linked and partners enterprises. There is a calculation on the right side of the slide, and you will see how to calculate for the company A the assets, means employees and the financial data. And speaking about source of information, I would also recommend to use the Commission Guide on SME definition. It's quite clear and with a lot of visualization also. So you can see diagrams as here as an example, like autonomous partner or linked enterprises with a nice picture. So very, very visible. So okay, so we, let's say, determine the ownership structure of our company. And the next step we need to do to determine the reference year. So in the framework of REACH, date of the submission matters. So if you're speaking about registration or update of dossier or changing of legal entity, so the date of this submission, which is indicated in REACH IT, this is the most important date. Then the general rule that all the financial data is based on the data of the last closing accounting period. All the companies and different countries have different rules. Sometimes it's September, sometimes it's December, but the financial accounting period matters. Then very important thing to remember that 2-year stability rule applies. That means that the status of SME changes only if the threshold are exceeded or fallen below for 2 financial years, which means that, and which explains also why you have to update your SME verification 1 time per 3 years, because only after this period you will have like confirmation that you change your status or you stay the same. Then about newly established enterprises, let's say you just open your company and you want to register and you don't know what will be the financial results and you have 1 employee. So in this case, use the good faith estimates, which also should be based on the contracts or business plans. So some financial plans, some forecasts which are made by the company. So it's not just your good faith that you will stay micro for forever. It's just you need to confirm that with some documents. And if you have some structural changes, so like merge or split, then the SME status will change from the date of this action, but then assessed against the relevant reference year. So once you merge or another company bought you, because I saw that question from our participants, then immediately you have to change the status of your company in the REACH IT. So we come to the step 3 and step 4, which refers to the documents, which documents are important and which are considered to be a documentary evidence. But first I need to emphasize that the status of SME requires compliance with both criteria, always 3 criteria: headcount, turnover, and balance sheet. Once you fail in 1 criteria, you are out of this status. In other words, if you are a company of 1 person and you are making 43 million euro per year, you are a standard size, more than 43 million euro per year, then you are a standard size company. So documentary evidence, which document will be very relevant and very helpful, and which document they have to pay attention to. So headcount, you can confirm that by different document that depends on the accounting system of your company. So payroll records, social security or tax authority declarations, records from your HR department, audited annual reports, or extract from the state register, because sometimes also this contain the number of the employees. But here the employees, they need to be not only the constant employees, but the seasonal workers who worked on this market. So like who, let's say, were helping to import the chemical substances, for example, they need to be also taken into account. Then turnover, it's audited annual financial statements, profit loss accounts, so all the financial documentation. Balance sheet, it's all understandable. If it's audited balance sheet, it's even better. If you can provide accountant certified financial statements, that's also good. So more stamps, more signatures is better. And additionally, you can also submit self-declaration, SME self-declaration, where you can demonstrate that you understand the criteria, and you can like name and list the documents that you are providing, or like the auditor report, yeah, so, or accountant certification. And based on the ownership structure, you summarize the headcount turnover based if it's partner or linked, and what like aggregate the 100% of it or proportionally to the ownership. So that depends on the really ownership structure of the company. And step 5, check the SME criteria and look where you are. And all these criteria, they are outlined in the basic Commission Recommendation 361 from 2003, and this is the sole authentic basis for determining conditions regarding qualification as micro, small, or medium-sized enterprise. But here you can see that the headcount, so 10, 50, 250, turnover 2 million, 10 million, 50 million, and the balance sheet is 2 million, 10 million, and 43 million. And so if you are within these ranges with all the linked and partners enterprises, then you can identify which category your company fall under. Okay, so when you finish your self-verification, you collect all the documents and you submit all these documents via REGARTIS to ECA. ECA will definitely check if you really have the right to have reduced fees. So what they will do, they will send you the request to confirm. So if they will have any doubts. And why do they have any doubts? Because they are checking your documents and they do some cross checks using the databases where they can see all the linked companies. And also now with the new regulation, we know that ECA is developing the special verification tool, which will help them to make this process more efficient and hopefully faster. And after assessing the information, ECA will come to a conclusion. If they will miss something, they will request again. So like it's not that they found a mistake and then immediately they punish you, but they will try to extract all the documents that they have. And after they make their decision, they will communicate this decision via REGARTIS account of your company. So what happened if you indicate your company size wrong? Now, in 2026, nice news that your registration still remain in force during this verification process and during the verification process of ECA. And if you know that you indicated wrong, if you inform ECA before ECA initiate the SME verification procedure, you will pay the difference in registration fees, and that's it. If ECA will initiate SME verification procedure, then you have to pay difference in the registration fees plus an administrative charge, which is roughly 20,000 euros. And also they will, as Jana mentioned, notify national authority, and national enforcement authorities may also impose penalties or come with the inspection. So they will highlight your company for the national authorities. Next year, in 2027, the new paid submissions like registrations, update, legal entity changes will not be possible without prior SME status verification. So you need to do that before your registration. And incorrect company size declaration, if ECA see that and you will insist on that and they will not agree with you, they still retains the right to impose penalties for incorrect SME status declarations. It's not now in any amounts, but at least they believe that they know more, let's say, that about the company size. So it's your task to prove indeed with the documents which company size you are. So being a consultant, of course, I want to finish my presentation with a practical recommendation for the SME compliance. So monitor your changes continuously and conduct regular internal reviews of headcount and financial thresholds. So each financial year, end of financial year, or if something happened like merge or split, just make some records if that can lead to the SME status change. Then update the status proactively in Reach IT. And now it's like recommendation, and from of 2027, it's obligation that you should do that once per 3 years. Then maintain supporting documentation and keep this documentation ready for ECA verification. And here you will need really close cooperation with the legal and financial department. And plan ahead all the paid submission after 5th February 2027. And interesting thing that you can submit SME supporting documentation and ECA at least 2 months in advance. So this is the obligation. But at the same time, you can submit registration inquiry because this submission without fee. So you can still try to make your registration a little bit faster. But although now we understand that from of 2027, the timeline for registration will be much longer. So that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention. Stano, please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Inessa, and thank you, Jana, for presentations. Thank you to all the participants who already shared their questions with us, and of course, even to those who merely listened. We are now moving to the second part of the webinar, or third if you count my colleagues separately, and that is the questions and answers section. In this section, I have 2 questions that start, one here, there's one which isn't written here. So the Q&A will work the way it usually does at our webinars. If you're a regular, you probably already know. We try to prioritize people who are in the audience, who are live. So if you would like to speak to us, feel free to raise your hand. I will allow you to turn on your microphone and we can chat. Then I would like to prioritize questions in the Q&A section on the webinar. And then we have, I believe, like 10 questions from the registrations ready to go after this one. And I will fire this up already with one question, and that is, do you get recordings and presentations? And the answer is yes. I'm asking this because it always pops up one way or another. So let's go to the first one. Rachel asked, what size is considered an SME? I believe this was answered during the presentation, but I would like to give you space to address it further if you'd like.
Yes. If you go back to the slide with the criteria.
Just a moment. Yes.
So SME means medium, small, or micro enterprise. If you have less than 250 people working for you, if your turnover less than 50 million euros and or balance sheet less than 43 million, you and all your linked and partner enterprises can be considered as SME.
We could go back to where we are. Perfect. So hopefully this answered the question. Should you have any more questions related to size, feel free to let us know. The contacts are in the presentation. This relates to all the questions and all the answers we can provide during the webinar. Next one is by Mieke, who asked right now in chat, if you are already a large company, is there also a check if this is correct? If I can rephrase it, is there a check what size my company is at the moment?
If you are a large company, you are free of declaration, so you haven't checked anything. You are just standard company, and that's it.
Yes, so you will not be checked by ECA because ECA got the registration fee in full, so they have no question to you. So that also come to the thing that if you are on a borderline of SME status and you have any doubts, it's really better to be on the safe side and to verify yourself as standard company, because you know that you will be definitely checked if you declare yourself as SME. So once you are large and you are like fine with that, it's you are on the safe side and no verification from ECA can be expected.
And ECA is happy.
And ECA happy, and you can make registration fast. Yeah, so you can just go straight to registration.
Great. Let's move to.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
So yeah, multiple people are running the ship at the moment. So Jana, move to question to Jana, which is different Jana.
Okay.
But anyway, Jana would be happy to hear more about the new ECA fee structures for certain reach-related procedures.
Every information about fee is in the regulation. If you are interested in a special fee, you can find it in the regulation. The regulation is very short, so it's easy to read it. So if you have if you have any special questions, please send us maybe by email, and we will help you with this.
Let's move on to the next one by Mangish, who asked, what is the impact of registration process of SME status verification in EU? So how does the status verification impact the registration process?
I think we touched that already, that the registration process becoming much longer because SME verification became their part of registration, let's say like that.
On the other side, for example, for authorization process, it does make impact because it's preparing of documentation is longer than 2 months or very much longer. So you have plenty of time to prepare the documentation and then submit the documentation for authorizations. So depends on the obligation.
So hopefully the verification tool will help with this prolonging process. Luciana asked, how will the criteria and process for SME status verification change from the current one?
There is no information that criteria of SME status will be changed. So it's written in this Commission recommendation 361, and the process changed based on this new regulation that you have to inform in advance about your SME status before you start registration or any other paid submissions.
The next one is again Mieke, who asked, what is the definition of a large enterprise? Hopefully you already know by now, but repetition is the mother of wisdom.
Yes.
Saying in English, I mean.
As we mentioned, large is standard enterprise. So it's if you are not medium, you are large.
Yes. So if you have more than 250 employees, your turnover more than 50 million, and your balance sheet total more than 43 million, then you are large/standard enterprise. So it's easy.
And also, if you are part of some group of enterprises, your company size is the same like the biggest company in the group. So be careful in this because it's would be very difficult to find all information. It's not only.
The next question is by Yuri. I believe, yes, by Yuri, who asked, in case of authorized representative, are the criteria the same and apply to the representative or to the main enterprise? By authorized representative, I believe is only
representative, I think.
So, you?
Okay. Yeah, only representative depends on the company size of the non-EU company. It's only representative is responsible for verification, but the size company is on the company which is represented, and necessary it's the same criteria, same documentation, and it's focused on the company which is outside the EU. Something more?
Well, it's add more challenges and more, let's say, fun to verify, because then we're working with different countries, and different countries really have different reporting documents, and ECA is fine with that, but for the company itself, like for non-European manufacturer, it can be challenging to disclose some information about ownership, for example, or the financial data.
Yeah.
So yes, that's so status refer to the non-European manufacturer in case of only representative.
So the best way is to be standard company, so it's
Yes.
safer.
Yes.
Let's move to Petra, who is asking, just wondering if our company still holds the status of a middle-sized company for which purposes according to turnover and employee count, even in the situation that we became a part of a large company that purchased ours.
I think that refers to one of my slides. So on the moment when the large company purchased your company, you became a large company. And from this moment, you should update your Rich IT company size status and then provide the documents based on the latest financial reporting period.
I believe we are nearing the end of the registration questions. We have one more. Oh, it actually came during the webinar. So, Patrick asked, can we expect, the registration, whatever, can we expect a certain degree of individual approach depending on the company's turnover?
No, from ECA, that's the registration fees, of course, or the fees for the legal entity change. You have reduced fees. As a consultants, we also have this approach depending on the company's size with our service fees. So I also can expect individual support as SME for some, I know, from association. So it definitely should have some benefits. I hope I answered the question from Patrick. If not, maybe he can comment.
Probably not officially, right? Like,
yeah,
depends. Patrick, if you would like to discuss this further, feel free to. I believe you are in the webinar. And with this, we are out of our questions from registrations and now prepared questions for the webinar. If anyone would like to talk to us, feel free to raise your hand or put the question into the Q&A interface or into chat. It isn't moving so fast now, so I can definitely catch them all. If there are not any, I would like to remind you that you can always reach out to us on email, phone, or ideally on our website, because the website makes sure that it doesn't drop into the spam or anything, and that you are logged into the system. So the best way to do so is to go to our website and just click the Contact Us button, which will pop up a form. And also, I would like to remind everyone who is here now, please fill our feedback form. It helps us a ton if we get to see what you find the most interesting and the most crucial from our webinars or from topics all across regulatory. And since no more questions are popping up and no hands are raised, I will use this opportunity to again invite you to PCMC and to thank Jana and Inessa for the great contributions, both in presentations and the discussions. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, and we hope to see you in Prague in April. That will be also good pleasure and big fun.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
One thing I just realized I didn't mention, in 2 weeks' time, I'll put a link in the chat, but in 2 weeks' time, we will be talking about Prague Chemicals Management Cruise itself. We will hold a similar session with Jana and myself, and maybe a mystery guest or two. And we will talk about how the conference will work, why is it the cruise, why is it in April, why is it in Prague, etc. So make sure to tune into it. And we'll see you guys around.
Yes.
Thank you very much for attending, for questions, and for your ears and eyes. Good luck.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.